All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Delusional Fan. McCloud, Geraghty, Bruni. We are here for you this week. It is our second favorite week of the year because next week is our favorite week because next week is the start of the NFL football season. So
I'm okay with this week. I'm college football. I'm all in.
yeah, Badgers LSU is going to be awesome. AFC, NFC North previews that will round out our preview stuff for the NFL season, and then our fourth segment, our D segment. This show we're going to go over our way too soon NFL playoff predictions. So let's start AFC North. AFC North, one of those black and blue divisions, very similar to the NFC North. I'm glad we did this last. You've got Steelers, Bengals, Browns, Ravens. So all teams very similar in concept, just not all execute the same way. So, preview-wise, let's start with our newcomer, Alex Bruni. I want you to go over what you think AFC North, how that's going to round out this year.
Well, I have the Steelers and the Bengals are on top. I mean, it's going to be at least a 3-game difference between the two of them, or between those two and the rest of the group there. Mm-hmm. I have the Steelers at 12-4, Bengals at 11-5, then a couple games down, I have the Ravens at 9-7, and I've been saying the Browns would be 8-8, but I think that's really generous, and I'd probably give them 5 or 6 total wins.
So you're thinking like 6-10 at most?
Yeah,
with Josh Gordon coming back.
I've been reconsidering. 'Cause, I mean, they have at least 4 games until he comes back.
Yeah, 4.
So I mean, that could easily be 4 easy losses.
Who I picked up late round in fantasy, before he did.
Then let's say RG3 goes down, which there's a good chance he will. You know, I originally had him at 8-8 because I was being optimistic because I feel bad for him, but we talked and you kind of brought me back to reality a little bit. Oh. But I mean, moral of the story is I think the Steelers and the Bengals pretty much run away with it. It's going to be.
Are they both playoff teams this year?
Yeah,
Division.
I guess I'm not sure how great the rest of the AFC is going to do. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going on. Obviously, I wasn't here for your guys' last.
What do you have? What do you have the Bengals at? 11-5.
Yep, I got Steelers 12-4.
I think 11-5 will make the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
And either of those give or take a win. You know. So.
Okay. Why now the Steelers? So obviously you're expecting after 3 games Le'Veon Bell to make a difference, or do you think it's not going to make that big a difference considering?
I think D'Angelo's going to fill in fine for him.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have the schedule right here, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were 2-1 with D'Angelo.
Okay.
When Le'Veon comes back in, they have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, the best running back, the best wide receiver. So I mean, they're going to put up points. I think the defense isn't great, but they're going to be good enough to just keep up with that. It's like when the Packers were 15-1. Well, let's not go to that point, but I mean, they have enough where if the offense is going to put up 35 points a game, they could, 28, 35, whatever.
They usually do.
Yeah. So I mean, as long as the defense can hold the opposing team to 30 points, they're good. They're golden.
I think it all.
When you have an offense that's that powerful, all you got to do is hope that your defense is adequate.
And their defense might not be adequate, and their offensive line always gets hurt. That's what worries me about the Steelers. Ryan?
I like how you just threw that last thing in.
Yeah,
that's Ryan's turn. I couldn't say anything back. So
it's your turn.
It's a transition. I'm in a similar situation with the AFC North. I have Pittsburgh coming in at number 1, 12-4. I think Cincinnati winning the division last year and not having Andy Dalton in the playoffs, I still think that was an outlier in terms of what they did last year. I think the Steelers had a down year. I'm not saying they're going to be good enough to win the Super Bowl. I think that they are, their issues are specifically on the defensive side. Offensively, as you just alluded to, they're a beast. They are. They can score at will. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the league, one of the best running backs, and one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver in the league.
Would you say Le'Veon's not the best running back in the league?
Again, I think he's up there. I think he's one of the best. I do. I think when he's healthy, he's one of the best.
Healthy and sober.
But again, and we'll get into that with the NFC North. But yes, of course, I do. I think their front 7 defensively is going to be really special. I do. Cameron Hayward, Ryan Shazier, Stephon Tuitt.
You like their front 7?
I do. Yeah, I do.
I like Shazier and I like Hayward, but I think
and
everybody
James
else
Harrison, again, you got a lot of aging pieces on this
Yeah.
team, okay? And I get that.
And it's aging pieces mixed with a lot of young pieces, except for those two that you just. Or Shazier's young, but he's good.
And I think last year was where they really showed those things,
Yeah.
where they had the age with the youth, and it didn't mix. I think it will mix a little bit better this year. They got another year under their belt.
Okay.
And
When Le'Veon Bell is healthy and not suspended, they're an
unstoppable offense, yeah.
Okay, so they're good enough to challenge for a 1 or 2 seed, in my opinion. I really think they are. I think they're good enough to do that if things go their way.
Okay.
I have Cincinnati at 10-6. Again, Dalton needs to stay healthy, right? I mean, AJ McCarron can come in and do all the great things that he can do. He's still not, at this time, a elite quarterback. I think that's obvious to say, right?
Is Dalton an elite quarterback?
Have you ever seen McCarron's tattoos?
No, I don't. But I think,
beautiful.
Are they?
He's got a big ass chest tattoo like an eagle or something right here. Yeah.
I don't even want to see him.
I do think that Andy Dalton was on a trajectory to be an elite quarterback last year before he got hurt. I think
Oh, he had the numbers until he got hurt. Oh god,
he
yeah.
was fighting for an MVP
And
last
if
year.
he'd have been in the playoff game, they would have won. Not even including the
This is
BS
all
that
I'm
happened at the end of the
is
game.
that they had yes. Is he elite right now? No, but he has a chance to be. I touched on this when we did this last week, but can Vontae's perfect and that defense and that team in general
Hold it together.
and not shove a coach or shove a ref and
Just totally shit away the entire playoffs.
Exactly. Baltimore Ravens 9-7.
I think the Ravens are kind of one of those where they could be 10-6, they could be 4-12. You know,
Yeah.
you just don't really know where to put
Just
them.
like last year.
Yeah.
You just didn't know.
And I
So you
actually
just-
think
Flacco
last
went
year, between the injuries and everything else, they absolutely were decimated by that, and that affected them greatly.
Oh god, yeah.
You have a lot of age on that team as well. The AFC North is like an aging division. It really is, and it's been a very good. I talked about this last week again, though, but this is a division of consistency and rivalry.
Yeah.
And so they're a special division, but they've been consistent for a reason. They've had a lot of veteran leadership, but they're starting to age. So I have them at 9-7, coming in at third. The Browns are the Browns, in my opinion. There's no talent. There's very little talent on that team. If you want to throw in Gordon, that's fine. He's still not going to be there till week 5. And,
Corey Coleman.
And at that point, similar to Burfict, can he stay out of trouble?
Similar to Le'Veon Bell. Can you
Just
say?
stay,
that's
just,
why I said
just
Le'Veon
stay
Bell.
sober for 12 weeks a year.
I know.
Then you have the other 40 to do whatever the hell you want.
Browns suck. They're going to suck. They're going to 3 wins, 4 wins is what I have them at.
Okay.
All right.
I like both years except for I don't have the Steelers winning the division. I'm 100% Cincinnati Bengals. I think with the healthy Andy Dalton, not only do they blow through the division, but they win their playoff
You think
game
Andy Dalton
pretty
makes that much of a difference?
easy. I really do.
What's
AJ
your
McCarron.
nickname for him?
It's not mine. It's Cowherd's. The beige water pistol.
I love that, though.
So
Just 'cause I love the nickname.
So you must have a lot of confidence in him if you call him the beige water pistol.
Well, Colin doesn't.
Well, they call him it's because some people call him the red rifle. And
Yes.
It's like, well,
Right.
I think he's more like a beige water pistol.
I prefer the red rocket, but yeah.
Right. Whatever it is.
Kind of a dick. No, sorry.
So yeah, Bengals 11-5. I definitely have them topping out and making the playoffs at 11-5. They're going to be fighting for that number 2 seed, I think.
What kind of impact do you think AJ Green will have on? Like, because he got injured supposedly in the last game.
I read about the injury. It was a bang knee. He came out for precautionary reasons. He's fine. It was like a bruise. No big deal. So no structural damage, no ACL, MCL, none of that crap. So it literally was he banged his knee. It was sore. They're like, just why are you even playing? It's preseason. So not worried about that. I'm more worried about their quarterback situation. Their defense it's not good. It's great.
You think they're going to you think they're going to stick with a true running back by committee, or like
why not?
the duo with Hill and Bernard, or do you think one of them is going to take off?
I actually believe Hill is the better back.
Really?
But you've got a Gio who's really a 1B, who's close enough.
I was watching preseason. I thought Gio looked
He did.
so much better this year.
But I think Bernard. I think Hill.
I was thinking about trading for Gio in fantasy, honestly.
Hill catches the ball better out of the backfield than Gio does, and I think that's the biggest difference. Because they like to use their running backs out of the backfield. 2 is Pittsburgh, and I'm going to go 10-6 with them. And I think that's almost generous, only because I think the defense is going to falter big time. I think Cincinnati's going to win both games. I think they're going to lose one to the Browns. I think they're going to lose one to the Ravens. Ravens.
You have them at 2?
I have them at number 2. Ravens are a straight 8-8 team. They have absolutely no running game. They have aging wide receivers. They have a quarterback coming off injury. I don't believe in Joe Flacco. I don't believe in that defense.
Who is their running back?
Well, they're running back by committee 4 players,
Yeah,
but
Forsett.
technically,
they got the four-headed beast,
Forsett is their running back. But one of their guys just actually got hurt, so it's like a 3-headed monster now. But yeah, I just don't believe in the Ravens at the moment. I think a lot of it has to do with personnel and injuries. I just don't trust them.
You know, whenever I think of the Ravens, I still think the running back is Ray Rice. Just because he was the last one that I remember.
So that's when I was any good. Yeah,
Right.
It's been a while.
And then the Brownies, I love the coaching change they made this year.
You think he was going to be the man?
Yeah, I trust that guy. And obviously, you've seen Marvin Lewis coaching tree, as young as it is doing fairly well. What's happening in Minnesota, you can't deny. They won a division. They're playing great. I think Hugh might even be better. Just because I think...
Man, I love Zimmer, though.
I do love Zimmer, but Hugh's offensive mind, I think, is good. I think he got more out of Andy Dalton. Similar to like what Adam Gase does with quarterbacks. I think there are certain guys that get more out of players.
But, I mean, similar to Adam Gase, do you think it's going to translate to head coaching, though?
In Hugh, yes. Because I think the team respects...
Like Joe Philbin was an amazing offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Went down to Miami, was a head coach. Was terrible.
Say Trestman with the Bears, same thing. You know, they called him the quarterback whisperer.
In the CFL.
No, he won... He was working with Montana and Young while San Francisco was winning their championship.
That's true, 30
he
years
worked
ago.
with Gannon and the Raiders, but
Gannon,
still,
yeah.
it doesn't matter. Yes, I think he will be one of those that works out under that tree. I think he's respected by the players, which is a big deal. I don't know if Gaze actually is going to a Miami. I think Hugh's smartest move was actually staying in the division. Mm-hmm. Even though he's staying against tough teams, he's staying against teams he knows and with players who respect him. So the other team's going to come in respecting him the same way that players on his own
That's
team.
such a huge thing. It's like you have coaches that come in, they're great coaches, but the players don't respect them.
Yep.
Whereas you have Hugh, you got Zimmer, you got Harbaugh was the same way in San Francisco. You know, you got to have the locker room. It's such a cliche, but it's true.
Yeah, Brownies 5 wins, 6 wins doesn't matter because they're not going to compete for anything yet. Their best asset is a guy that we're not even sure can even stay on the field for the rest of his career. So, I shouldn't say their best asset. Their best offensive weapon. They still have probably the best offensive lineman in the game. They still have one of the best. Yeah, Gordon.
Okay.
They still have one of the best offensive linemen in the game.
People would get that confused.
With
I thought you were
Thomas.
I thought you were referring to RG3.
Yeah, right.
No.
Right.
No.
Well, you were questioning whether he could stay on the field for an entire season.
Right.
I actually meant more Josh Gordon.
Okay.
I don't believe in Robert Griffin III. I never have and I never will.
Very good.
I didn't like him coming out of college.
I feel like if Shanahan wouldn't
Tell us how you really feel, Chris.
I don't like Robert Griffin III.
it was the braids, right?
No, I just what does he have that translates to the NFL?
You're just racist. That's
Yeah,
all it is.
that's right. I'm just racist.
Yeah. I see Cutler has hair you like, but
Cutler
RG3's
has
got braids.
Beautiful
so.
hair. Even though he cut it this year, I was a little disappointed. So yeah, Bengals, Steelers. I think the Steelers actually.
Like I said, though, it could go either way. But
Yeah.
I'll give it to the Steelers just on their elite offensive weapons.
And I don't think the Steelers make the playoffs this year. I think Bengals are the only ones from that division that make the playoffs. So that is our that is our AFC North predictions. Now we're going to move on to the NFC North predictions.
Oh, Jesus.
Our favorite division in football. So we can go in reverse order, if you like. I'll start this one out. You guys are cool.
Cool.
Go ahead.
We have had a catastrophic injury which absolutely changed the predictions I originally had.
I don't know if it's going to have that much.
And I know you guys are going to disagree with me.
This will be interesting. I asked
Sorry.
him earlier today how this would go.
I
Do
think
the Bears become the division
I
champion?
think the development of Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, God, I didn't even think of that.
I think
Just wait, Alex. We
Okay,
got
all right,
something
okay.
special for you here.
You done?
We'll see.
By all means, man. You're
The development of Teddy Bridgewater was perfect for that team. I think it's not a plug and play team where you can throw a quarterback into a good team and win.
Okay.
I mean, he could step backwards and do this.
Go ahead, man. Nobody's stopping you.
Highest completion percentage in the history of the NFL for his first 2 seasons for that young a quarterback.
Wow.
History of the
Out
NFL.
30
Wow.
attempts.
What an amazing
History of the NFL.
statistic.
It is an amazing statistic when you need him to throw the ball and make
Yards,
completions.
touchdowns,
No, you
interceptions,
can't say that though, because we get a lot of mileage off of Rodgers having the highest completion percentage too. So.
That's fine, and I'll bring that up later on in the show. But you complete 75% of your passes, let's say, which that it isn't that high. Let's say you do that. That's for 2,500 yards, 3,000 yards.
I'm talking
Under
about a
20
second-year
touchdowns.
player. It's second-year player.
I'm just saying you can't base it all on a completion percentage.
I'm not.
He's
I'm basing it on a
he
guy
hasn't
who's
produced
developing.
a lot. Okay, very good.
A guy
And
who-
we'll be
developed.
right back with more
You're right.
delusional fans.
Yeah. I'm talking about a guy who's developing. And I think he was developing perfectly for that team. I know, again, preseason is preseason, but even watching him this preseason, especially in the third preseason game, that offense did have it going. He actually threw more balls than he normally would throw. Now, a lot of it might have to do with AP was not playing. But even Jared McKinnon's not a bad backer. He's a guy who can run the ball well. The
Bring him
Vikings,
on the backfield,
the
catch him
Vikings
too.
were on point. They were my division winner.
Yeah.
Originally, they are no longer because I think he will actually him not being there will hurt them that much.
Here's what I want to ask you then.
They got what? Sean Hill backing up?
Sean Hill.
Here's what I want to ask.
And
Joel
Stavi.
as second string.
Oh my God!
Enter the Joel Stave era.
3 and 13.
All right.
The grapefruit
Now,
era.
I want to ask you this. In your opinion, either of you, that's fine.
Oh my.
What would be, how many games per year do you think Teddy Bridgewater wins you?
3.
Oh my God. That is a lot. That is
Okay,
a
that's
lot.
not a lot.
Yes, it is. Because I'm saying single-handedly.
Is that just this year, or is this
By
for the
himself.
next?
This year.
Or is that?
I'm saying
you
by
said how many
himself.
games a year, not how many games
this year?
I'm saying yes,
That's
this
a 3-game
year as
difference
the
this
year,
year.
but how many games do you think he can win you?
This
So
year.
yes, take this year into account.
Are we talking about this year or not? Then let me
Yes.
let me finish my prediction.
Sure.
Can I finish?
Kind of finish.
Can I finish?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm finished. Teddy would. Okay, to answer your question and keep
Yeah.
going. Teddy was good for 3 games this year. I am taking those 3 games away from them. I had them at 11-5. I no longer do. Okay.
So yeah. Okay.
I
very good.
literally have them at an 8-8 team now because of that.
Okay.
Still beating the Packers, probably.
No, that's
Go.
the thing.
Go.
That's the difference.
I want to hear this.
I honestly think that defense was going to hold, because in Minnesota, that defense has been known to hold the Packers down. They really have. They're still going to do that, but I don't think the offense can keep up with the Packers the way they could have with Teddy Bridgewater. Because they could have relied on him that game for an extra touchdown or 2.
To who?
Well, I like Stephon Diggs. I like Adrian Peterson. I like Jerick McKinnon. I like Kyle Rudolph. I think they're a good offensive weapon.
I just want you to know my disgust for that.
It's because you're a Packer fan
No,
and you're a
no,
homer and
no.
you like to jerk off over Aaron Rodgers jerseys. I get it.
Okay, that was a really aggressive take. I'm saying
That's years of defensiveness
if
built
the
up.
Bears were in the position the Packers are in, I would say the same thing. Teddy Bridgewater doesn't impress me. You need, and I'm sorry. I just want to.
Jay Cutler doesn't impress you, but he's worth more than 3 games a year to the Bears.
He's worth 3 games a year.
Right.
He's better than Teddy Bridgewater.
But Jay Cutler,
So I can't
Jay
put
Cutler
3
doesn't.
wins
Jay
for Teddy
Cutler doesn't have
Bridgewater.
the best running back in the game
I'm not going
either.
to sit here and give Teddy Bridgewater, who hasn't done a fucking thing in the NFL so far.
They won the
3
division
wins.
last year. They beat the Packers.
Yeah,
That's
not
all you
because
need to
of
know.
him.
What are you talking about? Of course, a lesser quarterback wouldn't have done that.
No, I think exactly what you said to begin this. Plug in another guy. Colt McCoy will get you just as many wins as
God,
he will.
you are delusional.
No, I'm not.
You are.
No,
I mean,
absolutely
that
delusional.
is a classic game manager situation.
That's what that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're also saying Mark Sanchez was going to game manage the Broncos this year.
With
How well
who?
did that go in preseason?
He doesn't have a running back.
Why can't I think?
He
of
can't
the
game
name?
You had
manage.
Hey,
Trevor
why-
Simeon from Northwestern.
He doesn't have a running back.
Start.
He can't game
Why can't I
manage.
think of the guy from Purdue who quarterbacked the Bears and the Broncos? What's his name?
Luke
Kyle Orton.
He's a
Yeah.
Kyle Orton. That's exactly. Kyle Orton was probably better.
Kyle Orton has not had near the success that Teddy has already had in his 2
How
years.
many playoff games
What
did
are
Kyle
you
Orton win?
referring
Right.
to?
No, seriously, he did. Kyle Orton won playoff games.
And that's what I'm saying. What are you referring to, Chris? In terms of what Teddy Bridgewater has done that is so impressive.
I don't understand your hate for Teddy.
I don't hate him at
I didn't
all.
say. Did I
Why,
say he was
hate-
impressive?
why is it hate just because he doesn't think that he's as amazing
exactly.
as you do?
I don't hate
Why
him
does
at
that
all,
make
though.
it hate?
I don't hate him at all. I actually really
What's
think
this,
Teddy
Fox
Bridgewater
News?
is a great kid.
Everything you're saying right now, every tone of voice you're making, everything is your hate for Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh
No,
my
it's
God.
not. I'm trying to have a conversation and get debate going here.
The debate is, you
And he
think
goes full
losing
Fox
him makes
News on
no
us.
difference to the Minnesota Viking team.
And I guess at the end of the day, we should let you finish your picks because
Yeah.
I will go into that. I'm sorry. Dude,
You
we're
basically
talking.
told me, based on what I said, that losing Teddy makes no difference to the Minnesota team.
I
Can we
think
just
it
talk
gives you a
about
game.
Colin Kaepernick for
I
a
just think
second?
It gives it a game.
Yes.
I think it gives you a game.
So, the Minnesota Vikings will now be 8-8, and I think they'll be third in the division. Detroit Lions might win 4 games at best. I think they're terrible. I really don't care. Packers obviously have the best talent in the division. Obviously the best quarterback in the division. I think they have... I can't stand their coaching staff. I don't believe in Dom Capers, or I don't believe in Mike McCarthy. I think they win based on Aaron Rodgers' arm and his back.
You know what? I just found out that was interesting.
What's that?
You know who the Packers offensive coordinator is right now?
Should be Aaron
Edgar
Rodgers.
Bennett.
Edgar Bennett.
Yeah, you knew that.
Isn't that cool?
He's been their receivers coach for.
Which
Well,
will
I know,
probably
but-
which will be better than any.
But since
anybody else.
Since Clement was demoted, I think it's cool that Edgar Bennett's our offensive coordinator.
And he'll listen to Aaron Rodgers and they'll win more games.
Go ahead. It's still your floor.
Because of that, I have now advanced the Packers to 11-5
Okay. From what?
from 10-6.
Okay.
I had the Bears at 10-6 also because I had them losing a game to Minnesota. I now have the Bears also at 11-5. Does not change my predictions for between the Packers and the Bears. I think the Bears beat the Packers twice this year. You can, yeah.
With what?
No, I get called delusional for calling Teddy Bridgewater an average quarterback.
Have I given my reasons yet?
No, I'm just saying.
If the Bears play the Packers straight up right now, the Packers win, but it will not be straight up. The Packers will suffer like they always do, and it's wonderful to watch. Fantastic offensive line injuries that go all the way through. Jordy Nelson will not come back to be the Jordy Nelson
So
he was
basically,
before.
what you're doing is you're hoping for injuries.
I'm not hoping anything. I'm telling you what's going to happen.
But you look so happy when you said it.
Oh, it's fantastic. Because I love watching guys like you suffer.
You like watching guys like them go down.
No, I like watching guys like you suffer.
But for us
I
to
like Jordy
suffer-
Nelson. He was a fantasy wide receiver of mine a couple years ago. I like Jordy Nelson.
So you have.
But I don't
you
think
have-
Jordy
you
will
have-
come back.
You have Bears, Packers,
Both
Vikings
11-5.
At both 11-5. Bears getting tiebreaker.
Yep.
You have the Vikings dropping all so far because of Teddy Bridgewater's
Packers
injury.
will make the playoffs this
That
year.
makes
though,
the
too.
Lions the last.
Bears and Packers are both in the playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the Lions obviously at 4th.
I don't even want to
Who
talk
cares
about who
about
cares
the
about the Lions.
Very good. I'm fine with that.
No Megatron means no nothing.
Right.
What do they got?
Right.
Fucking Golden Tate
Right. Who's hurt?
and Amir Abdullah.
I'm cool with that.
Oh, and Eric Ebron is hurt too.
Marvin Jones is going to be a beast, though.
Oh, and Caldwell's their coach.
Great.
Right. And Stafford's their quarterback. And we can keep
That's
going.
well, honestly, I think Stafford's one of the.
I like Stafford.
He's still going to put up near
I don't mind
5,000
Stafford.
yards.
You can't get it done with Calvin Johnson. Who are you going to get it done with?
There's a lot more reasons he didn't. He never
Sub
had a
that in
running
with Barry
game.
Sanders.
Closest they ever had to running game was Reggie Bush when he was healthy, and then he was never healthy. So.
Very
All
All right,
was-
fine. Go.
Yeah.
Tell me how great you are and how great.
What was the dude that got hurt? He was going to be awesome for the Lions.
I don't know.
Career was ended. He only played for like 2 years.
Oh, no, it wasn't. You might be thinking of a Bear. I don't know.
No, it's definitely not Bears Lion. We'll get back
Think
to
about
it.
it.
Anyway,
All right, go ahead.
All right, so I'm going number 1, Green Bay, 13-3. I think take Rodgers last season out of this, which
Javid Best.
35-9.
Sorry, Javid Best.
He had 35 touchdowns,
Ran in the
9
Olympics this year.
35 touchdowns, 9 interceptions last year,
Which was a down year.
which was average for him. Barring, take that out, it was one of the more frustrating seasons I've ever watched last year, first of all. But I think it's simple. I think and I think they will, revert back to form here. I think Aaron returns to form, keep the O-line healthy, which is a big question mark. If they do, 13-3 is good enough. You have good pieces that you're adding to the defense. They spent all their time on the draft in the offseason on defense. Clark, Martinez.
Blake Martinez is going to be a beast.
I agree, man. I really do think it might
Actually,
not
did like
be.
that kid
It might
when I
not
saw
be
him.
immediate. It might not be immediate, but he is going to be good.
He might not play this year, but he's going to be an
He's
up
going to
and
play
comer.
this year. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
saying he might not be like
play
this-
an impact role.
That's what I mean, right? It might not be this big stud that you've seen right off the bat, but you still have a solid. Their defensive backfield is impressive. It really is. Between HaHa and Burnett, you've got Demarius Randall, Sam Shields. You've got a lot of pieces there.
Quentin Rollins, Carlos Hyde.
The biggest thing for me, yeah, absolutely, and those are 2 solid pieces as well. But the biggest thing for me is their schedule. They have one of the easiest schedules in the entire NFL. So I think they have the pieces, the talent. It always comes back to talent for me. I think they have enough to get.
So let me ask you something about your 13-3.
Yeah.
You had that 13-3 with or without Teddy, and were they beating the Vikings in both games?
You know what? Here's the thing.
Does that affect you at all?
I think I had them losing one to Minnesota, and there's no. Fine.
You're just giving them 3 losses, no matter who it's to. Just 3 losses.
14-2. Then I know. I'm just saying 13-14 wins. I don't. 13-3 is the record I'm predicting. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Minnesota, I still have coming in at number 2. Okay.
Yep.
I had them at 9-7.
The Sean Hill era.
I'll put them at 8-8. I think Teddy Bridgewater's. I'm being nice, giving you one game. That's what I think.
Okay.
All right. They have the toughest schedule in the NFL. Period. One of the toughest schedules in the NFL, I should say. Defense is solid.
Their away games.
Nobody will deny that. Yeah, and I feel like we're running late on all these segments. I would, at Panthers, Cardinals, Cowboys, Colts. They have tough games. I think AP's going to slow down. I don't see him having the same. He'll still go over 1,000 yards. I don't see him having a miraculous 1,800-yard season again.
Aren't you kind of one of those camps, though? Isn't he one of those guys where you're like, I'm not going to say he's going to slow down until I actually physically see him slow down? How many times have we said about him?
Of course, Brady? To be fair though, he has stopped stealing the life force from his children, so he might slow down.
Right. It is one of those Tom Brady things to me. It's one of those things where I'll keep
believe it when I see
it.
it.
No, I'll keep predicting it until it happens.
Yeah, and eventually you'll be right.
All right. Yeah, and eventually I'm going to be the guy who predicted it.
Yeah.
So, this is interesting.
Yeah.
This is from last week. I never updated anything.
Okay.
Teddy is the worst quarterback with the lowest ceiling, and I think that will shine through. There's my prediction.
And fuck his femur, too, Jesus.
No, and I feel horrible for the guy. I truly do. Moving on, Chicago Bears. I have them at 7-9. They have a tough schedule, tougher than the Packers.
Yeah.
And despite what I think was one of the better drafts and off seasons that that the entire NFL had, I think I do. For all the things I hear from all my Bears friends and fans, for how much they think Vic Fangio is going to be the savior for that defense and is going to carry them,
yeah.
I think you can say the same thing for Gase, and you lost him. And I think that was your quarterback whisperer. And I think that was the best year Jay Cutler's ever had. And I think that will affect them. Yeah. I have them at 7-9. Detroit, we'll just go on to Alex. So
your only playoff team from there is the Packers.
Is the Packers.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Alex.
All right, so I got the Packers at 13-3. 13-3, not 13-3. And I had the Vikings. I had the Vikings at 12.
Same thing last year. Last week.
I had the Vikings at 12-4. And I thought it was pretty much interchangeable between the Vikings and Packers. But I'll take away one win for the Vikings. I'll still have them at 11-5. I still think they could win a wild card.
At 11-5, they better.
Yeah. Right.
Well, I don't think better. I mean, there could be other 11-5 teams. Yeah.
The only team I can ever think of going 11-5 and not making the playoffs is the Patriots when Tom Brady went down.
Yeah.
That's the only team I can ever think of.
Yeah.
But anyway, I still have them at 10 wins, 11 wins, right?
Yeah. And then I got the Bears 7-9. Lions don't care about.
Okay.
We've been long enough. We've already pretty much exhausted the entire thing. So.
All right. Our two biggest arguments are the Teddy Bridgewater argument and my homerism with the Bears. Then I think, right?
That's right.
What is your feeling on Teddy? You really think Teddy's only worth one game for that team?
I like Teddy. I think he's a good quarterback. I think the bread and butter of that team is the defense and Adrian Peterson. And I think they'll survive without Teddy Bridgewater.
I agree the defense is extremely important, but I just think Teddy is worth at least 1 to 2 touchdowns a game.
I mean, they won games before Teddy Bridgewater, so they'll win games after him.
Okay. All right, that's the AFC.
Plus, before we go.
Yeah.
How many games did the Packers win when Aaron Rodgers went down?
3 and 4 they went.
So total record 9-7, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
So they would have been let's say 12 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
So that means Aaron Rodgers is worth 3 games. So you don't. I'm not going to give Teddy Bridgewater 3 games too.
Well, no, Aaron Rodgers would have won the 3 games they lost.
Yeah, so that's 3 games.
He also would have won all the other games
That's
they
three.
won
That's,
anyways.
that's 3 games though.
No, that's 3 He's worth the 3 losses.
So that's 3
I
more
think
games.
Teddy is worth 3 games
By himself.
By himself.
That's
So
crazy.
but
that
what you're
kid.
saying is those 3 losses though,
That is
that Aaron
crazy.
Rodgers that we lost when he was gone, he is those 3 losses.
Yeah, but he also.
But
They'd have
not-
lost 5. He would have won 5. If Vikings lose 5, Teddy would win 3. Is what I'm saying.
So, okay. Well,
Aaron Rodgers to me is worth 9 games a season, 10 games a season.
I even think that's high. For by yourself, if you're saying by yourself, you can win a game.
Yes.
I
I mean,
look at it.
Aaron Rodgers to the Packers.
Of course,
Nine or 10 wins.
quarterback is different,
Probably
but
7 or
the
8.
Texans had the best defensive player
7
possibly of all time and went 2-14.
Right.
So
because that doesn't
yeah.
matter.
I'm just saying quarterback's different, but still, that's having one of the best players of all time at his position, and by far the best in the league, and they still won 2 games.
A good example.
One player isn't worth all that much.
Using the Bears is a good example. There was, the season where the Bears were 5-1, 4-1. Cutler went down. They went 2-4, and then he came back and Cutler won 3 of the last 5 games. I mean, even Cutler to his team, even though he is not on Aaron Rodgers' level, even close.
He's worth 3 or
to
4
his
wins by
team,
himself.
By himself is worth 3 or 4 wins.
And I think Jay
That's 'cause
Cutler
their
is
game plan
and I think Jay Cutler is leaps and bounds better than Teddy Bridgewater. That's what I'm saying. I think he's worth 3 or 4 wins.
Plus the
I don't
game
think
plan.
Teddy Bridgewater's worth more than a
Jay
win by
Cutler
himself.
they wanted Jay Cutler to throw the ball because they had Matt Forte, who was a great running back, but he was even an even better receiver out of the backfield.
Yeah.
They had Brandon Marshall, they had everybody else. Whereas the Vikings' game plan is hand the ball off to Adrian Peterson, and if that doesn't work, then dump it off to somebody else.
Yep.
They're not relying.
But last year they started developing
but they're not
Diggs, they
relying
started
on.
developing
They're not
Rudolph.
relying on Teddy Bridgewater to win those games.
But that's
Never
what was,
have.
But that's what's been coming.
And so here's the thing: if you want to say this, if Teddy Bridgewater makes a huge leap this year, right?
But he won't because he's
No,
injured.
I'm saying if he were to
hard-
have
it's
made
hard to
a
leap without 2
huge
legs.
leap this year, fine, they're worth 11, 12 wins.
Yeah.
That's still saying he needs to make a huge leap. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm sorry I extended it even farther than
All right.
it was.
Yeah. Very good.
It's all right. When we come
We
back,
got the next segment.
top
Yes.
5 time. We're going to do a jumbo top 5. We're going to do our top 5 favorite Packers and Bears players from history.
This should be short.
So this will be nice and short. Actually, we could do this nice and short. But, let us
That's what
know.
we said about the
Let us know
last
what you
two.
think about your predictions, AFC and NFC North, and we'll be right back.